Good evening.
Everywhere I go on this island, it seems to me I find degeneracy.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. See, it's a lot scarier when there's no motive, Sid.
We have a bargain.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Do you feel the pain? Well, see, pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
His entire work consists of violence, all the time, obsessed with the issue of violence. Mayhem, gouging out of eyes, autopsies on the stage.
Come. It is time to keep your appointment.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're well. This is episode 207 of Double Feature Horror Show. I hope you're well. It's good to see many familiar faces here. John Garris, good to see you. Thank you for that very interesting animation you said. You surprised me, John Garris. You surprised me. Hello, Lawrence. Hello, Wolf. Hello, Fez. Always good to see you. And anyone else, do sort of say howdy. We like that round here. I'm also going to add in a little bit of admin. Where is TCG? There's my lad.
Hello. Sorry I'm late.
Hello. Sorry,
What is up?
I thought that was only appropriate if we're talking about spiteful mutants. Bring out the Ed Dutton.
Oh, bless. Yeah.
Actually, has someone already made a... Oh, someone already got an Ed Dutton joke in. John Norris beat me to it.
Oswolf beat me as well, to be fair, because I was going to say I was waiting for Julie Andrews for quite a while watching this film. And I was a bit disappointed I didn't see her. But I will tell you later on who I was very pleased to see.
I have a suspicion. I know. I feel you may be bursting with trivia, but I'll let you get to it. I'll see if I'm right. Hello, also Murgoot, regular co-host, going into the valley with us again this week.
Yeah. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everybody. This is a very proper remake that we're going to be watching. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And as I said in the comments, Sound of Music would be better with mid-century German mutants.
Oh, why not? And I don't think Grok is that far off. I mean, I've seen what they've done to that D&D campaign where everything is looking a bit like Crayon and Pride, and someone's just got Grok to add in adaptees going in and purifying everything in the name of the Emperor. If Grok can do that now, I don't think you're too far off being able to ask him to make a minor amendments to the Hills of Eyes, and we can have that wonderful vision. Well, you know what? We did have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Is it too much to ask for, the sound of Erica?
Yeah.
I don't know. Going in a weird place with that one. We've got a nice startup. So before I can't even get my shilling. I'm so slow with the shills. Lawrence, you've beat me to it, and you've made darn sure that John Garris can't steal the first super chat from you again. Although I will, of course, encourage super chat battles. John Garris, never heard of him. Rubbing it in there, Lawrence. Thank you very much for the £2 for demonstrating that the super chats do work. I will encourage you all to follow in Lawrence's example. You can do the old supers on here. You can send a tip on Subscribestar, or you can do my personal favorite option and join as a member either here or on Subscribestar. And if you're one of those fabulous people who is watching on the replay, who I neglect nearly every week, well, you wonderful people can also leave a super thanks saying, thanks for remembering us this time, you ungrateful bit, or whatever you else want to say. Just, super thanks would be great. I may have bought some expensive books. And yes, need reimbursing. All help, gratefully received. All right, wonderful. Lawrence has come in with another beauty here. The Scottish version is, of course, The Hills Have Eyes. Terrible.
What was the
Lawrence.
family of cannibals that was out of Scotland?
That would be the Sawney Bean group. Sawney Bean clan. I think there is a Dankula video on them for people who
they're
they were the
semi-mythical,
inspiration.
but they're definitely... That's where I became aware of them, was Dank, and then I see them mentioned periodically with true crime or weirdness.
Did somebody say true crime?
Oh, why? Is there some fine true crime content around here? Wait a second. Where's the thing I'm looking for? Got it. Never mind. I'm slow. Fill it up while I be a massive boomer and fail to find the thing I'm looking for. Go on, TCG. Fill the air.
Fill the air. Okay. So, I mean, if we're talking shilling, let me have a go. So, I haven't actually done much more research into my Blackout Ripper story, but it is coming. I'm going to try and aim to get it out for the beginning of the month if I can. But in the meantime, let's talk quizzes, because we're doing the quizzes again over on my channel on Friday nights, 9 p.m., which is 53 minutes from now. So whatever time zone you're in, make a note. Tomorrow's one is a themed one, and I thought we should pay homage to somebody who has contributed greatly to the online sphere, somebody who just cannot seem to get out of the minds of many a political commentator, many a social commentator, someone who you will probably know for such phrases as, well, I won't get into it because they might be questions. You'll have to tune in and find out. But let's just say it's the 23rd of October today. So 10, 15, 16 days ago. Some people may be remembering the 7th of October for very, very obviously tragic reasons, of course. But some people might be calling it Dogtober 7th. Some people might be calling it Collargate. So tomorrow night, we're going to have a little quiz. And as I said, we're paying homage to a certain commentator. That person is none other than Hassan Pikachu. Oh, yeah.
I love it so much. He's an electrifying presence, isn't he? Do you think he's charged with battery?
I think he's probably a wind-up toy. He's probably one of those like wind-up ones. Oh, it has been. Do you know what? The last 2 weeks, seeing this clown meltdown has been beautiful. And of all the things to actually have his feet held to the fire to, it's this. And there is so much that should have got this guy, essentially like the Sargon treatment pre-Elon takeover of X. It just boggles the mind. But he's in so many circles when it comes to things like Twitch, this little cohort that he's built up, these people that like it boggles the mind. But we'll talk a little bit more about him tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll have a little bit of fun as we delve into the activities of Hassan Piker. And for the quiz tomorrow as well, I've gone a little bit further. And I've also got clips, because your boy TCG likes to bring receipts.
The extra mile.
Hell yeah.
That's all for Chenk's nephew.
Oh yeah.
Some know him. Oh, brilliant. Excellent. So that is tomorrow at 9 TCG?
It is. It is. I did ask Horror Show if she wanted to join, but she said no. She was too scared to lose horribly to Murgoot, Dens, LPR, and Harrion.
Oh, we
I
got
am
a
so-
I've got a reputation. It's why I run the quizzes and don't
ruin the quizzes. You mean ruin? Although, to be fair to you, that they're not as bad as that Golden Ball stream that we don't talk about.
the band Golden
Oh,
Balls.
God.
Oh, yeah.
The deep lore.
That got the real 107 treatment.
Wee. It's lore within lore, folks.
Oh,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Well, obviously, links to TCG's channel and to Murgoot's Twitter are in the description. Folks, do follow them. They are fabulous. They are loyal. They rock up every week. And they have the great takes. So here we go. Yes, real 107.
Just before we continue,
Frankly,
what I'll do,
it was filthy what happened to that episode.
it was absolutely disgraceful. I've actually got the stream set up. So what I'll do is I'll take it out of private now and I'll link you guys. Make a note, set your notifications, because YouTube for some reason on my channel has been absolutely diabolical lately. I don't want you to miss out. So I will switch it to public. Yep, it's still scheduled for tomorrow. That's good. Why is it still saying that? Public. Done. That.
Brilliant. There
Cool.
we go.
I'll get the link in the chat. Go and set your notifications. Do not miss out.
Lovely. Before we go further, I just want to say, Lawrence, wonderful choice. Excellent. I think fairly little seen Sherlock Holmes, and James Mason is indeed a brilliant Watson. There's a nice setup, Sherlock Holmes investigating Jack the Ripper. Really, it's great. It's wonderful. Highly recommended. Absolute classic. If it is the one I'm thinking of, and I believe it is. Oh, who was the Sherlock Holmes in that one? I can't remember. Help me out. Someone who saw it, let me know. Right. Okay, wonderful. Folks, this week, the last session before we go fully into the Halloween specials, we are covering 2000s era horror remakes. This is the one I've been saving because in my memory, this is the best one. This is the best of the lot. So we will be doing the custom grading. We will be checking it out against the taxonomy, and we'll have a good little discussion into what the heck is going on there. If anyone does not know, it is a remake of a 1977 Wes Craven classic, a very early one. Long before he was sort of really cemented as the king of horror. It was something he sort of fired off as a quickie, but did very, very well and helped lock him into the path. Fittingly, it's gone to someone else for the remake, a French director by the name of Alexandre Aja. Now, he's an interesting choice because he is bringing a French extreme aesthetic to the story. And as you might expect from someone with a French extreme background, he is not holding back. I think that's fair to say, guys? Could you detect the French extreme standards here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Although I do like, I haven't seen High Tension. I have seen Mirrors, which I enjoyed, especially the American version with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes, my memory was that's 2005, so that was just before this, I think.
Let me see.
Was Mirrors 2005 or
2005 or 2008?
Let's confirm that. Let's lock that down.
2008 with Kiefer
Oof.
Sutherland.
Murgoot, you're gonna have to be the host now. I've humiliated myself once again. 2008, yes. I think that's quite an interesting one because it sort of locks itself into a sort of tricky place for how to solve its premise. But you just, on the way to that, you get some absolutely amazing effects. TCG, have you seen the one that made this guy famous in France, Haute Tension or High Tension?
No, if the title isn't English, I don't watch it typically.
Based. Wonderful.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's sort of stylish, low budget pursuit of a couple of French lesbians after a massacre in the family home. You can sort of see why there's a bit of a thematic linkage there. Nice twist to it, and very high gore values. You know, the kind you'd expect from French Extreme. So not a squeamish chap. And we saw quite a lot of reaching around for European talent at this time, so I can understand why they did it. I mean, let's think, for example, who did we cover recently? The chap who did 28 Weeks Later, Frenadio, you know? Good example of them looking around. So when they were widening the pool of who they could turn to make this, Alexandre Aja came up and, as we said, does not pull his punches. Before we do a little taxonomy of this film, seeing how well it fits the Platinum Dunes wave aesthetic that we've basically tried to draft out here, could I beg one of you to do the pint of Guinness summary, what's on the back of the DVD, etc., for a quick summary for anyone. Oh, there you go, TCG.
Oh no, I was going to nominate Murgoot. I was going to. No, not me. No.
I mean, I don't mind doing it myself because it's extremely easy this time.
He's in BRB mode at the moment.
No worries. Well, I'll do it because it's super, super easy. It's a very simple plot. A family on a long vacation get basically. Actually, let's restart that. It's not as easy as that. There is a family and a bit of a war between the son-in-law who's come in, Mr. Bukowski, and the patriarch figure here, Big Bob Carter, Bobby Carter, played by the wonderful Ted Levine. See if we can make it a whole stream without a Buffalo Bill impression. I doubt it, but we'll do our best for your sanity. In this vacation across the desert, everyone's getting a bit grumpy. They come across an old gas station where they stumble upon evidence of a bit of skullduggery, that there's a bit of a scheme going on to kill and basically rob and kill and eat travelers who go through the area. And even though the gas station attendant was basically sick of it, traumatized, and wanting to get out of his participation in the scheme, because he thinks he may have been sussed out, he goes and gives them directions, sending them straight into the hands of the cannibal hillbilly family who are going to try and take them down. When they're led off the open path and basically ambushed, there's an incredibly brutal attack on the family, basically tearing them apart. Lisa, leaving Doug to be the sort of man of the hour, to rise up and try and get his baby daughter back. Meanwhile, the two teenagers are left holding the fort, as it were. There's scraps in the desert, an incredible amount of blood, and some really effective mutant makeup, down to the wonderful team at KNB, as you may expect, really doing some fantastic work. So there we go. It's very straightforward, very simple. Does that sound fair, folks?
As fair as it's going to be.
See, I'm terrible at doing these. Why do you think I offload it every single day?
I don't think anyone can really do the pint of Guinness summary. It takes a certain special skill, literally like pouring the bloody thing itself.
Well, exactly. I mean, Harry would take 3 hours on them, if we remember.
Exactly, yeah.
The whole stream would be the pint of Guinness summary. It's a lake of Guinness.
It'd be a whole brewery's worth, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm gonna try and spare us the really digging into it and see if we can have a little play around with the taxonomy. Now, this is coming out a little weird on my end, so hopefully people can read it. Before we get into the deeper... Lawrence, you absolute savage. Absolute savage. No, I'm terrible at doing pint and Guinness summaries. Absolutely no. People go in desert, bad thing happen, hillbillies are lumpy. There you go. Will that do? That's like a shot of Guinness. I did see an interesting one up there from Fez. Well, there you go. No, it wasn't Fez. Apologies. You've got similar icons. It was Dr. Prepper saying this one wasn't bad, but I'd consider The Last House on the Left better as an improvement on the original. I've seen a fair amount of commentary on that. John Doyle has quite an interesting defense of it if you go and look up his discussion on Halloween movies. So that's an interesting one. Was it implicitly conservative horror movies? He has a good take on the remake of Last House on the Left. My memory is fuzzy on that one. I'll tell you one that I remember being not so bad at all was the I Spit on Your Grave remake. That quite impressed me. That was a marked improvement on the original, if I recall. So I'd throw that in the mix as well. And EU Nemsy, haven't seen any of the 2000 era remakes. Well, maybe some of these discussions will get you curious. I tend to think they get slagged off a bit, but I actually think a lot of them have got lots going on. And perhaps it's a little bit of our habit to, I don't know, overpraise the quite rough late 70s, early 80s horrors. You know, they've got their charm, but when you go back to them, a lot of them are sort of extremely rough. Whereas these come with a bit of polish to them. And yeah, sometimes hold together a fair bit better. Jay Pankser, we are covering the remake. We're doing we've been doing a whole arc on the 2000s era remakes. We are coming back to this topic because there are so many of them. But just before we go into the Halloween specials, we've covered 3 just for a fun one. One more before we get into it. Waifu sneaking in to ask, are grape-themed horror films inherently more conservative than standard slashers?
I literally thought she was talking about actual grapes for a second then. I forget we're on YouTube and you have to like modify your language because apparently saying certain words is just too triggering, I suppose. Whatever. That's what really bugs me, man. Like other words as well, like sewer slide. It just oh man, like being a true crime content creator, you really have to modify your language sometimes. I mean, I don't go that far. I don't go as far as some people do, but yeah, just
you get so used to it that you just end up saying, you know, soupy slide or self-deletion.
Yeah. It's just, man, I feel like it just minimizes it. If anything, like, oh, you know, we don't want to say, you can't say these naughty words, and then you go right. The vineyards have eyes, brilliant.
Kind of like the C word, where the only people allowed to say it are Australians, but
which is ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
we take that word with exactly the same meaning and intention.
What do you want to have a go at that then? Anyone want to pick up the mantle? Are horror films focused around a bit of the old grape inherently more conservative than standard slashers?
I would ask to expand on that a little bit.
It's a tricky one, really. Okay, so it is. Do they have a conservative mindset? I assume you don't mean are they more conservative and restrained? Although actually that you could mean that. If you mean are they more conservative and restrained, absolutely they are. Simply because it's so much harder to actually show a detailed and explicit sexual violation. Very few
they
films do that in great detail, and the
8
ones that do are
millimeter had
notorious.
to restrain theirs just because of the age of the victims. Movies like Hardcore Lipstick, they did not restrain themselves, which is why they almost got X-rated, and this was in the late 70s.
Yeah. If we reach over to France and go for something like Irreversible, you know, that could... It's an absolutely brutal, memorable scene, but I think in terms of what you are seeing, how can I say, anatomically, it's relatively restrained. They're still very impactful.
Well, there's
But
also the American version's tamed down a bunch. Dangerous Liaisons, where it's played almost for laughs, and then Liaison Dangereux.
Yeah.
The French version didn't play it for laughs. So
No.
the French have a little bit more leeway.
Oh, definitely. I'd say one of the worst ones for it. Although again, it does not show much more than Irreversible. Is an old Hong Kong movie called One Night in Mongkok, which is an amazing film, but you will have a very bad time watching it. But if we're comparing it to the fact that, you know, we can see people dismembered by chainsaw, then I think we do have to say that it's treated with more restraint. But Waifu has clarified that she meant, where are we? Conservative mindset and moral framework. I'll take a stab at that. I think because I struggle to remember any sort of grape scene played in a horror context for a kind of comedy horror effect. Simply because of that, I would say it tends to be more conservative. I mean, I'm reaching for ones where they've made it, you know, kind of inherently funny, the way lots of kills are in slashers.
I don't think you'd ever. I don't think I could pull a single example of something.
Some of the Toxic Avengers, especially, I believe the first one tried to play it off, but it came off as serious. The second one, not so much.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I think we have. Yeah, like it was a long time ago, but I was just saying, like, basically horror tends to avoid it because it's hard to have a good time in that kind of scene. Like,
that is one way of saying it.
Well, it's just like it goes super serious.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we can see some pretty nasty things happen in pure violent terms, but it doesn't kick in a sort of serious business response the way that does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm mostly speaking of maybe your other people have a bit of a giggle. I don't know. For me, it's like my own moral viewpoint kicks in, and I just have an instinctive response of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Serious business.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this film, that particular scene for me is the one that literally has my stomach turning. And do you know what? It does it in a way where you don't see much. You don't really see much of anything. It's a lot of it's an implied thing. And when I was watching this back, my mind, and it's probably because I've recently watched That Monster, the Ed Gein story. But like in my mind, I remember the scene being more violent than it actually is. And I think people watching Psycho for the first time, or maybe remembering Psycho in that shower scene, and thinking, you know, and thinking it might be, you know, or, you know, thinking it was more violent than it actually was, when in reality you don't see any blood apart from the bit that goes down the drain. You don't see any stab wound, like don't see any stab.
You don't
stab
see
wound
the
thing.
stabbing,
You
but
don't
you
see but
from
it's
the
that score that's playing as everything's
Right.
happening, and yeah, it's essentially the implication I think does a lot of work in portraying that horror. And I think the Heroes of Eyes, that scene for me has that same effect as the shower scene in Psycho.
Mm.
It's brilliantly done, and if you're watching a horror film, you know, one of the things, and if you've watched as much horror as us three have, and people in the chat, like you do become desensitized to a lot of it very, very quickly.
True.
And there's very, very little that actually, you know, makes you feel physically sick or physically horrified. And this is one of the scenes where I won't lie, I was very, very tempted to just skip over that bit because that's how much it repulses me. So it has that effect. It has that horror effect. It's just, and it's, you know, and obviously the choice of a victim that they use amplifies that even more.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, you know, there's just so much wrong with that specific scene that it does make this particular film a difficult watch for me when I know that scene's approaching. But after you get over that hill, pardon the pun, then you sort of like get back into it and it's okay, right, we're back in. And I said this to you guys in the chat, what is kind of appreciated, maybe the word, is that you do get a quick sort of revenge through Beast the dog taking out one of the hill people. So there's already sort of like a bit of not redemption, a bit of revenge and a bit of a getting your own back to a degree, and
you start to feel there's a bit of hope.
Exactly, yes. Immediately from that point, because you know the build up is all like, oh my god, oh my lord, like, you know, these people are effectively helpless, especially when Ted Levine's character goes, who by the way is fantastic in this film. And I was doing a little bit of trivia, and most of his lines in this scene are pretty much rehearsed, as well as his actions as well. Improvised, sorry, not rehearsed.
Improvised.
Improvised.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Getting ahead of myself.
That is nice to know. Yeah, he's the big man on set, basically. Is Ted Levine, and I'm just looking through my images. I think I kind of stinged us on really any photos of him.
Yeah,
I think I've only got like this one where he's in the dark. I'm very sorry, Ted.
Oh, Ted.
Oh dear. It's all right. He had a good year. He was in It was in Memoirs of a Geisha straight after this, so you know it's not all bad. Got to hump. What was her name? Was it Gong Li? She was in it. Zhang Ji was in that. Any Memoirs of a Geisha? No. All right.
And obviously, when he's like the first one who's taken out, effectively, which just ramps up that threat level, given the fact that you know the next guy who could take on sort of like the protector role is like some meek little liberal guy who himself admits that he would probably shoot himself in the foot with a gun if he had one, who absolutely is not respected by the dad at all.
I think it's a little bit of what they call the Worf effect. Is like you build up your basically your big protector, the person who you think is most capable. You take them out and you think, oh gosh, if the threat can take out our best guy, then you know we're in trouble. And then you're like, you know, it's down to look, I know this is Aaron Stanford and he played Pyro, but I could see the whole time I thought he looked like Aaron McIntyre.
Or Daniel Jackson from Stargate.
Yeah. Oh, I see that now. I see it.
The pussy turned hero.
Well, you know, that is one of the interesting dynamics that Aya has. I mean, it was in the original, but Aya has really, really built this up massively. So that it's such a clear conflict, and you do have. It's one of the things that make it this such an interesting film in trying to unpick it. I said to you guys in the DMs, like Cape Fear, this is a story of a guy basically having to abandon his moral position to win. And it's, you know, he's getting absolutely ribbed constantly for being a modern, sensitive chap, rejecting guns. You know, he's quite a cool guy. You know, he can take the bants. You know, he's confident enough in himself to say, "Oh, I'd probably shoot myself in the foot." You know, even though, you know, there's quite a nasty tone to the way they mock him, but he's confident enough to take it. But ultimately, you know, this film is proving, yeah, that position doesn't hold. When it comes down to it, he has to get his hands dirty.
Yeah, Doug gets real dirty, and he can take a punch. He can take getting hit with weapons and keeps going.
You can take getting thrown, like smashed through a brick, smashed through walls.
Well, those are just plywood. They're old government test buildings.
Oh, Murgoot, let me have this.
Well, hey. Still, 1-inch plywood is pretty nasty, but
you could get splinters.
I liked Bobby, the son's evolution too. He's a protector too, but he's impulsive and goes after the dogs, but ends up protecting his sister, and helps set up the tripwire detection and the fire trap. But he also, like I said, he's impulsive as hell and can't shoot worth a damn.
He's juvenile, you know. I thought this must have riled you up massively, Murgoot. Like when he does this and like points a loaded gun at someone.
Oh, don't worry, the safety's on. Yeah, they always say that right before somebody gets shot. Yeah, I was quite annoyed with that, but it just shows how impulsive he is.
Yeah, he's believable, isn't he? He's. I think he's very endearing. He is a young, immature boy. He wants to prove himself. Stuff gets real, and he messes up massively.
But he keeps trying.
Yeah, he steps into the role. He doesn't shirk it off. He doesn't run to mummy. The way he sort of tries to protect them from the knowledge about Beauty, the dog being killed. He does step up ineptly, and he will be one of the stupidest characters in this movie.
But
he does step up.
He's an impulsive teenager. He's like 14.
Yeah.
But he does step up, and by the end, he's succeeded more than he's failed. He keeps trying. He does his best. But him finding Beauty eviscerated and then seeing the guy eating the leg and the guts up at the top, that was kind of, that was not as bad as the trailer scene with mutants and the women, but it's still, it was definitely a Piker Chew moment.
Rough week for dogs, man. What can I say? Jay Pankser, are you a bad guy for rooting for the desert dwellers? This, I mean,
if you were watching a in Praise of Shadows live stream, Jay Pankser, he'd probably say, "No, you're the good guys," because did you know that this film is an allegory for indigenous peoples and how their land was stolen from them.
Or blacks who were enslaved by the white monsters.
Yeah. In Praise of Shadows, just going up to his local diverse buddy and saying, "You see that deformed, rapey mutant?" I saw him. I was like, Tyrone, I see you, buddy. I've got you back.
Deformed cannibal mutants.
Jamal saying like, it
I
do
still-
be like that, Mr. Stancil.
I still remember that video, and just how absurd that claim was. It's almost like when people kick off about D&D, and is it orcs? I think it is,
Mm.
and they say that they're apparently represented by black people, and it's like, well, why would you think that? Like, gee, like, that's not the insightful analysis that you think it is. If you so calm down, buddy. Calm down.
Started out as pigmen in the original D&D, for God's sake. And they were corrupted elves in Tolkien. And
I mean, I don't listen. I'm not a big D&D guy, or Warhammer or anything like that. But when I hear that argument and I go, oh, what sort of characters are they talking about? Then and I see the characters, I'm like, Jesus. Okay, that's more of a reflection on you than it is on the people we're trying to criticize. You know what I mean? And so
I was gonna say I might keep my opinions on the orc what's it called, discourse to a minimum then. I will avoid any flame wars and arguments by saying, even if J.R.R. Tolkien did base them, sort of make them a bit of a metaphor for our more melanated friends, it doesn't mean you have to agree with them. You don't have to agree with him. But also, you don't have to shout down and say, because I like him, there's no way he would. But I do not know Tolkien enough, so I'll move us over the discourse. However, I'm genuinely interested in Jay Panks's question, because there is a real question here of, what does the movie want us to think? Because, like, as has been mentioned, like, how can I say? This movie is very explicit that the what are we calling them? Like, I don't think they get a surname here, but
I think they're just the hill people, aren't they? They're not.
Let's call them that.
They only have. I was looking up the cast, and they only have. Well, it was that image. It was that screenshot I sent you earlier. It doesn't. Yeah, they don't have surnames. It's just first names.
Yeah. Well, let's go with hill people. I mean, on a real sense, like, they are literally disenfranchised by the government. They had their lives ruined by the government. They're attacked by the government. They're put in a horrible situation, and they've been literally mutated by the action. But
they're inbred, they're mutants, they're cannibals, and they also use the gas station owner as a way to get supplies. They kill people, they eat them, and then bring the sparkly things for the gas station manager to sell to make money, to trade for goods they need. That's how they have like shotguns and that.
I'm so glad you brought up this screenshot, because I was just about to say, give it a couple of years, and In Praise of Shadows might make another video and having another stab at this and say, actually, the hill people are an allegory for a certain group of people in a certain region. The proof I have is in this scene. He says something to the effect of, "You told us to leave our homes, and we didn't, and so you bombed us," and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there is that. It's tricky.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's just amazing what people can sort of put together through their own sort of interpretations or their own sort of ideal visions of a movie and what it's trying to say. How people can sort of really twist it to make it fit their own sort of narrative and how they want to get their own point. Whereas I'm just a guy that just sits here and goes, okay, yeah, film, let's watch it. I don't look too deep, I'm afraid. I am not that kind of guy. And I hear wild takes. I hear some decent ones, but I do enjoy a good wild take every now and again.
You balance me out. You balance me out, man. That's why I love you. Maverick, from what I know, Tolkien didn't like allegories.
Yes.
Yeah, so I read the Humphrey Gardner, I think it's Humphrey Gardner biography of him, and it struck me that he was so against them. But I think I'm also quite persuaded by Death of the Author, and I think there's no way he was not influenced by what he lived.
Yeah, but again, I think
Like,
it does ring true, because as soon as I saw that from Maverick, it took me, because I do have the first Lord of the Rings book on Audible, and I remember the foreword from Tolkien, and he's very explicit, if I remember correctly, in stating that there's no real world connections to the story. It's separate, or it's not trying to say something about real life events. Like if you essentially, if you get that, if you get that interpretation, that's on you. But I'm telling you here and now, I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about that explicitly. But yeah, I do agree that he might have had influence. There might have been direct influences, which may have helped him tell his story, but it wouldn't be because of the thing, or he wouldn't be trying to send a message. Do you know what I mean?
not consciously.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's just, if something happens in real life and you want to use that to influence a story, by doing that in and of itself doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to say something about that event. You might just go, oh, that can be adapted to a story that I'm telling, but I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just using that because it works. If that makes sense. He does need a he does.
Sorry, John Gorris killing it tonight.
Oh, I mean, he had enough.
Comments.
He had enough. He had enough screens, didn't he?
He did. So, I mean, in this scene, as well as being an incredible effect, this is what's he called? Big Brain. Funnily enough, the character is called Big Brain, I believe, but he is he explicitly gets to kind of give this speech of basically, we're evil, but it's your fault.
Yeah.
He's singing the Star Spangled Banner in a certain sort of slightly mocking tone, and this is tricky to read because we've got to remember Alexandre Aja is French. He's not American. He's not coming into this with like decades of cultural baggage from America. He is an outsider looking at the situation.
Yeah, actually,
I used to think he was Spanish, actually, because of the surname, like Alexandre Aja. It's not his actual surname. That's just a pseudonym that he uses from the initials of his name.
Right.
Yeah, he's not Spanish. He's Jewish and French. So,
actually, saying that, this kind of backs up what I was saying earlier. Like, hypothetically, if you will, let's say I don't know, like 20 years time, they make another Hills of Eyes remake. Let's say they do it again, and they incorporate this specific scene, do a bit of an expo dump, right? People would probably look at that film and then look at the events that over the last 2 years and try and tie the two together. Whereas somebody could have just gone, actually, yeah, this scene actually quite worked in terms of sort of explaining the characters and why and what their motivations are, as opposed to real life events.
Well, the original was Cold War paranoia, problems with nuclear testing, isolation of the city folk. It could almost be seen, the original could almost be seen as American folk, only it's Cold War era folk.
Craven has a device that he used over and over again in his early films, which was basically people have to confront their shadow in a way. They have a sort of very direct, and this is the most direct form of it, basically, that the American family who are doing well and prospering have to go out and basically confront their shadow, the mutated family, and they have to sort of well, I'll use a phrase, they have to get their hands dirty in a way that they want to avoid doing, that they want to think of themselves as civilized, but ultimately they do have to get their hands dirty. And it's very much the same in Last House on the Left, that the good, upstanding, liberal, neat and tidy suburban family encounter some extremely brutal, bloody reality that they don't want to look at, and ultimately have to get their hands dirty and confront a reality that they do not want to look at. Craven treats this like a tragedy every time, and I'm not sure what to make of it. Like he's a hard guy to read, but he does seem to genuinely think that he seems to see it's regrettable and tragic that the people can't be principled. But this even extends to him, making it so that the parents who went vigilante on Freddy Krueger are kind of depicted as being in the wrong in the movie. Whereas Freddy, who was 100% guilty, was going to get off because of a paperwork error. That is the actual story.
Yeah.
Parents did absolutely nothing wrong.
Nothing
BBQ
at
him
all.
again.
Yeah, and
Get a shot collar on that dude and hand it to a Turk. Go for it. I'm sorry, no, Mr. Craven. I admire you very much, but I am not going to feel sorry for Freddy Krueger. It's not happening, bro.
No, I know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, oh no, have sympathy for this. And what are you on about?
Jay Panzer, I totally agree. As somebody who did a lot of driving between deliveries and surveying, taking back roads without knowing what's going to be through there, yeah, that's a bad thing.
And you think, you think, given that his character was a former police officer, you'd think that maybe he would have been a bit more conscious of something like that. But it is what it is. Me personally, I'd have stuck to the roads.
Yeah,
Big Bob is his name. Big Bob.
It's the old trope of don't trust the old man at the gas station.
Yeah, that's it.
You won't survive.
Oh, that was the whole time, huh?
I'm sorry, just picture the goatee. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Yeah, we do. No one else sees it?
Yeah, I do. I can't unsee it now. Thank you.
Apologies.
My detractors aren't donating me super chats. I can't play Super Mario Kart now. I'm just going to have to play my WWE champions on my cell phone.
Yeah,
okay,
apologies for scarring people. Yeah.
Be quiet, detractor.
Where is he? Here's a Tom Bauer, who I gather was in El Camino, Breaking Bad movie. I can't place him. I was trying to work out film. Oh, that's good. It's good. I was trying to work out, but yeah, this is as Jay Panks says, Cabin in the Woods reference. It's kind of Cabin in the Woods nails this archetype by saying like he's a scary guy who makes it clear you should run away. He's kind of like the apologies, folks, for swearing. He's kind of like the shit test for the characters. Like,
yeah.
If you depending on the movie, he either tells you to turn around or stay to the high road, or he makes it so you take the wrong road. It depends on the movie. Trying to remember the one with Kurt Russell. The hijackers who kidnap his wife.
No. Kurt Russell. Lawrence has gone for Breakdown. Is that it?
Let's see. I think that's it.
Good shout, Lawrence. Good call.
Breakdown. Yep. 1997.
Nice. Jay Panks was there too. Good going, guys. My gosh, you're sharp on it. Oh, sorry, folks. I forgot. I have my notes here. I just missed it. When we're talking about the sort of duality thing, the family faces off they're basically their dark counterpart. We have got a little foreshadow of that in that we've got the dogs of Beauty and the Beast. That idea of the counterparts, but they have to go together. Just gonna say, even the dog's name is foreshadowing. That's what we call a dog pill around here.
No, we don't call it that.
No.
In fact, if you Google, Oh,
Don't.
No.
fine. Okay. All right. Good performance from Tom Bauer. Good performance. Yeah. If we're and yet, Dr. Prepper,
That-
you keep coming back for more punishment.
that actually kind of looks like Pluto from the original film, but with sunburn.
I've got the original Pluto here, actually.
Did anyone,
Michael Berryman.
did anyone think that Sloth? No, sorry, Pluto in this film looked like Sloth from the Goonies.
I see it there definitely. It's
Or,
gosh, I don't think I've got him clearly. I've only
what
got
was-
him in. No, I've
No,
only got him
hang
from
on.
behind. But he's
What about the character from Total Recall, the one who is played by the guy who plays Hank in in Breaking Bad?
yeah, Dean Norris.
Dean Norris, that's it.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
it. We're definitely seeing. I don't have a close up of him, but I do have the one you like, TCG. I do have Cyst as an example.
Oh, this is a great character. What a guy! Great makeup. Wouldn't you agree? Great makeup effects. Chat,
Real pro.
chat. Ones in the chat if you think the makeup effects were a dub, as the kids say.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, KNB are going to do you well every single time. Absolute pros. Now, we something we'd note, and maybe this is second Cape Fear of reference of the night. I was thinking of Morgoth's review of like the old Cape Fear versus the new Cape Fear, and just like how much more extreme and grimy and grotty everything is. We definitely see that here, but in the fact that the hill people here are so much more extreme in their mutations as well. But I've got to say, I think
makeup's easier to do. There's more technology.
Well, you say that.
Yeah.
There was, talking about the technology that's involved. So there were a mixture of CGI physical effects or even both. So most of the mutants with full deformations, they were created by prosthetic makeup. By the way, shout out Greg Nicotero of The Walking Dead, who is the makeup artist on this, credited as Gregory Nicotero. But he actually, the guy you've got on screen now, Cyst, is Greg. It's Greg himself. But yeah, so they use prosthetic makeup, but with the children who were in the film, they were digitally distorted, using tracking dots on their face. And I thought that might have been the case. And Ruby, John Gorris mentions that Ruby was CGI. She was a mixture of two. So they used the tracking dots for the distortion, but she did have prosthetic teeth in her gob. So she got the hybrid treatment, if you will. So yeah, but I thought that the prosthetics in this film were really, really good, and I felt like it was kind of like the right blend of CGI. It wasn't too much, but what was this, 2006? This was so.
Yeah, I didn't know. I tell you what would have absolutely ruined it was digital blood.
Yeah,
I was looking for it. I didn't see it.
Yeah,
maybe, but I didn't catch it.
I didn't notice
usually
it either.
Stands out in this era. You see it. No, they know what they're doing. I thought maybe that the only bit I thought I could really tell that CGI was in that room with the two little kids, but that is so brief, so brief. So I'm going to call it a massive win. And what we've seen throughout these remakes is, yes, they are taking advantage of not only the more relaxed censorship, but also the greater effects. And I think we can tell from what Craven did the second he had a bit of money on in 1985. You know, he would have done these effects if he had the money.
Yeah.
But in 1977, he did not. Like, he was scraping it together. It was a real quickie of a film. So, you know, he worked with what he had. But the second he got the money to do some decent effects, then he did Freddy Krueger. So I think he would have massively approved of this.
Yeah, Dylan. That bit, I actually forgot that happens, and I was a bit like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah, that I'd forgotten it too. Totally caught me out.
Yeah.
The woman shot in the head. Now I've forgotten her name because I'm awful. Not the actress name. The character name.
Oh, that's
Lynn.
Lynn.
Yeah, she's played. I only noticed this. She's played by Vanessa Shaw. And I thought, where do I know her from? Where do I know? In fact, let's get her up here, along with Emily de Ravin. You okay with that one? I'll just leave that one up for us.
Yeah, keep that one up.
For
the one on the right. One on the right.
Yeah, the one on the right. Yeah, yeah. She was in Eyes Wide Shut.
She was also in one episode of Yellowstone, Cruel Intentions, the TV series. Yeah.
Well, she gets around to this, but yeah, I knew her best from Eyes Wide Shut, and once I noticed that, I couldn't see it. I couldn't unsee it. Yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah,
she's so good in that.
And that
excellent bit of casting.
Yeah, and that bit as well. Sorry, we keep going back to the trailer scene, but when he's effectively like feeding, it's just like, oh man, it's just great.
Do have a screen cap. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's just so effed up, man. It's just
what works is, I would suggest, it's novel. Like, when have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah.
For the factors, if you haven't seen this, folks, just to set the scene, like, this is the attack on the trailer. You know that it's been invaded. The menfolk who are meant to protect them have been distracted. There are no girl bosses present. She tried to be a hero, but a hardened fighter very easily disarmed her. And then, in a moment that I think we all said is bloody hard to watch, she surrenders because sorry, Murgoot. She surrenders basically as anyone would, because he puts a gun to her baby's head.
Yeah.
And I haven't got a screen cap of that because I found that really gross. I found that really, really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And so basically she is then helpless, and then her sister's getting groped up on the bed in front of her, and now she's being molested as well. It's such an extreme, disturbing scene.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned this type of thing. Aside from some adult websites, the only other time I've seen something this horrendous was Luke Skywalker getting the blue milk from the alien mama. But yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, can we take that one off now?
Yeah, go on. I will remove it. I am going to keep up something from the attack, but I will keep a tasteful one. And I'm very glad, like, this is about all they did. You know absolutely what's happening, but they're much more effective by actually showing a bit of restraint in this bit.
Yeah, it is genuinely one of those less is more scenarios where you don't like you can there's a certain amount of leeway I think you can get with just being overexposed to like the gorier elements and like this is one of those sort of scenarios where you can essentially let your mind do the legwork. And I think you already know, because it's already a horrific situation, if you're sort of being forced to muster up those kinds of images, that for me is far worse than just going, here's what it looks like, here's what's happening, rather than you sort of, but you take yourself out of that scenario, but you know it's still going on. It's like, oh my god, what's going to hell? What's going to hell? But yeah, it is literally it's literally both, Dylan. Yeah, absolutely. It's less is more for me, and yeah, it's a show not tell, because you're seeing enough to know something bad's happening, but you don't need to go the whole hog. I think it would actually take something out of this scene. I mean, don't get me wrong. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be even more disgusted, I suppose. But from a cinematic point of view, purely from a cinematic point of view, that less is more approach is something that I value more. Like I don't mind in a generic horror film, let's say, if the guy is getting like stabbed 40 times, but you're not seeing the knife going in, but you're hearing it, and you're seeing the facial react, the person's face reacting to each blow. Like in, let's say, like earlier Scream films, for example, whereas you contrast that to the later Scream films where they just had absolutely no problem of watching Ghostface just go absolutely to town on a person's torso. I felt like the former was more impactful than the latter.
Yeah. There's that kind of restraint just does not go with the French extreme style. So yeah, we don't get that restrained version. We get this all out version. I mean, there's subtlety in there. As John Garrett is saying, it's a very nice metaphor. You've got the feeling of like engagement, but also there is a penetration there. But yeah, it's at the same time, the film goes out of its way. One argument would be they show you the enormity, that is the great evil of the deed being done here. You've spent an hour getting to know these people. These aren't killings where they're getting picked off every 10 minutes.
No.
The film threw you like a quick where is it? The film threw you a quick bunch of randos getting massacred in the first minute. There you go. You've had that. You've had a bit of blood. Now we're going to spend basically a whole hour building up to it so that you care about these people, and that when they are attacked, you feel awful and sickened, and it's done in an interesting way. But because you feel that sort of violation, like you hate these disgusting mutants, like they are nasty. Like this is almost, how can I say, this is
it's just terrifying.
It's like the example. Like she is the most innocent, she's this young blonde innocent girl. Ignore her talking about Potch. I'm going along with a theory here. And he, the attacker, is just like the monstrosity is all on the outside, right? This is archetypical. So when they do this, you have absolutely no compunction in wanting Doug to tear them to pieces. Like no violence done to these people is too much.
Yeah.
When Doug goes on a rampage, we have basically, because of how bad they were, we are fully backing him.
Yeah. Well, we're fully backing him up to a point, because when he's actually having that fight with Pluto, Beast comes in, sort of saves the day a little bit, and rather than sticking up for Beast, and the guy runs into the bathroom, runs into another room, and like locks him and just leaves the dog to it. And I thought, you bastard, you absolute bastard.
Yeah, just make the best fighter vulnerable.
I know, it's just, oh my God, it's just like such a, what a weasel, dude. What a lying little weasley, what a weasley little liar, dude.
Murgoot, how did you feel about the attack? Do you like, is it justified? Is it too much? Would you have snipped a fair bit out of it?
It held true to the original, and to the feeling of the original, because the Doug character ends up stabbing the guy multiple times in the original, but in this one, Doug is far away and doing his own thing. He's putting Dad out, putting the fire out instead of guarding the trailer.
Yeah.
This is one of those idiot ball moments. You take two people, you run and put out the fire, and everybody else guards the trailer. If even the son would have been there with the gun, he could have shot the guy in the back before he did anything.
And then the film would be over, Murgoot. We can't have that.
I mean, I don't know. He could have got one of them. I thought when they were running away, he could have at least clipped one of them.
Well,
but
you say that, but the guy's
worst shot.
Was it Bobby? Was his name Bobby? Wasn't it? Yeah, Bobby. His bloody
Bobby.
aim's terrible, awful. It's
Mm.
like when he turns around a bit later on in the film. They're like, how many rounds you got? And he's like, I've got a clip and a half. And it's like, mad dude, if you weren't so reckless with with your shooting, you would have still had about 6 clips.
It do be like that, Mr. Stansel. Actually, on that, can I look? I just wanted to be very clear. I really like this movie. I enjoy this movie very much.
Yeah.
Thematically, really powerful. I do think there is some sloppiness in this that I only really noticed this time after doing so many years of film crit. And I've just started to notice things like Big Bob goes up and discovers the wall of exposition. I'm like, would you really have that up there?
Wall of exposition. I love that.
Really, Bob? Really? Like, would that be there? Would that be it? Why? Why would you? Anyway, enough said there. The Pepe Silva wall, we know that one. Okay. But then Bob, our big guy, he comes up having seen an absolutely bravura shotgun to the head that is like amazing. There's no way that I've got the unrated version. But that just strikes me as the classic. This would never have been in pre-2000s. Like, that is beyond scanners, the way that guy's head is shot off. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Although
I did feel he acted a bit silly around this bit because of the because obviously he's hearing someone in the back, like someone like their daddy, and he's just letting off shots.
Yeah, totally. That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
Is the film kind of cheating us here? Like,
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much. I mean, it's letting off rounds because obviously, the payoff later on is, during the trailer scene, he holds the gun to what was her name? The young girl, Brenda. And it just so happens that it's run out of ammo at that point. So, if he hadn't have let off those shots, there probably would have been another round in that chamber. But yeah, you'd think being the most experienced one there, but given that he was a former former detective, he does sort of act a bit dorkish in this. And then, but then also just the daddy, like the voice in the background, like he's obviously shooting off in a bit more different directions, and it's kind of like I don't think you're throwing your voice that much. And also he's sitting in a car, so he's in the car. How far is that voice really traveling? Unless he's having to wind the window down each time and maybe just shout out "Daddy" from a different window.
That's exactly it. It's like this. It feels like cheating because we are looking at Bob. But Bob also has eyes, I gather. So Bob's POV, I think, would pretty clearly show people.
You're wrong. The hills have eyes.
Oh,
the characters in this film do not. They have marbles.
God. So Bob, in his POV, assuming he had eyes, would see people whispering, "Daddy."
Yeah.
He would see them. So what's he shooting at?
I know, he's out in the wide open. This isn't like, it's not like he's in like a closed off building, like with like rows of like shells. I'm thinking of The Walking Dead actually, where there's almost like a bit of a hide and seek situation where you could probably rely on a bit of an echo in a room to maybe like just throw off the exact location as to your whereabouts. But it was stupid. It was silly. There
are quite a few moments where something doesn't make sound if it would be inconvenient to the film.
Yeah.
Like, really, I'm thinking of like when the mum's body is stolen.
Yeah,
and like it just gets nicked from a car and dragged off, and no one hears anything.
No one hears.
Really?
Yeah, no one hears or sees anything.
Well, they're making so much noise at that point. I did wonder how they missed it being dragged off into the darkness, but they were making a lot of noise at that point.
Yeah, it's almost like in certain bits they need these hill people to be almost supernatural, if you will, even though it's
Mm.
very well established that they're not supernatural in the slightest. They are just deformed humans who have been victims, I suppose, of radiation exposure due to these nuclear testings. I just don't get how they could effectively be so stealthy, because they're not again, they're not exactly the most mobile of people. Like the main one in particular towards the end, he's obviously limping and stuff because he's had like knives and he's been stabbed in the leg by Lynn and whatnot. They're not ninjas. Basically, they don't have the build of a ninja, nor the attire. That would have been
No.
interesting. The Hills Have Eyes and ninjas. I would pay to watch that.
The Hills Have Shinobis.
The Hills Have Shinobi.
Oh, all right. Never mind. Yeah, not stealthy. So yeah, possibly some, and we definitely don't see ninja moments in, where is it? The fight with Pluto.
No.
Like, okay, I mean, I've got to talk about this. You sort of brought up this is okay. Obviously, we want Doug to succeed.
I wanted him to succeed up until the point where he left Beast to fend for himself. Sorry.
That was, I mean,
that was a bitch move. That was a bitch move.
Beast is your best fighter. Let me lock him in a car where he could be very easily neutralized and killed.
Yeah, but
Just
also
poked with a sharp stick until dead. Come on.
Beast is also incredibly smart because he unlocked the door and let himself out to save the day.
Yes, Beast is the best fighter.
Yeah,
he's the MVP. But gosh darn it, there are some stupid choices in this. I mean, I could try and defend Doug for being like new, resistant. He doesn't want to be a killer. He's scared. He doesn't trust his abilities. But he's still, still kind of blue-pilled on it, still kind of blue-pilled. So he sees this woman who's obviously in on it, obviously evil. And then he's like, nah, I'll try and sneak by her. And then he gets jump scared by her.
Yeah.
He gets grazed by an axe, which is moron.
He's then locked in a freezer or a fridge, boots his way out, and then no one comes after him making all that noise.
It's a bathtub with body parts covered by a plexiglass locked doors.
Thank you. Am I wrong to be slightly annoyed about that? Admittedly, visually very cool scene, but
there's no consistency with there's a lack of consistency with these hill people in terms of who are they keeping alive and who are they offing. They just seem to be, because I get the build up. I get the build up leading up to that trailer scene, because what it does is it does show you that it does show you that these aren't people that are just out here trying to survive, if you will. They enjoy torturing and tormenting the people that they end up killing. But after that's happened, you kind of think that they'd want to eliminate the threats, and they have ample opportunity to do that to Doug on a number of occasions, and from sort of like the second act onwards, or the third act, and they fail to capitalize on it. And also, one thing I want to talk about as well, if we're talking about the hill people, is that girl, the one with the red hoodie that was taken from the van, I believe. Why does she go through the rigmarole of essentially keeping this baby safe? Because for me, this would just be everything she knows. This would be, is it Plato's cave? Is it that?
Yeah.
This would be her world. This would be her source of food, of entertainment, and these sorts of things. Why did she get that moral conscience to be like, no, you can't harm this baby? No, I'm going to protect this baby. To me, doesn't necessarily make sense unless because we're not exactly exposed to her sort of getting another perspective, if you will. We're just it's almost like she's in here to be essentially a plot armor device for both the baby and for Doug. I meant to say Plato's Cave. I almost said Pluto. It's his film, man.
I would suggest
if the fight scene took place in a cave, that would have been brilliant between Pluto and Doug. that would have been brilliant.
I think she's there to sort of morally complicate it a bit, and if I'm being really cynical here, I would say it's that element to sort of stop you saying like blanket judgment against the people, like, oh, actually, there's some good in them. I felt it. You can't judge them all, and actually, Ruby, even despite the circumstance, turned out to not be so bad. So maybe if we were to reach out and give them dem programs, maybe late night basketball or something, these guys could turn it around.
Yeah,
I feel it is a bit of a liberal. It's a liberal wedge put into the movie that is otherwise kind of like very clearly, oh yeah, they're monsters, hack them up, bro.
Yeah, I would have just liked them to be a bit more black and white in their motives, as opposed to having some of them with this grey, sort of like morally grey area. Hills of projects.
Hills of iPads.
It's the Craven syndrome. Got to humanize them somehow. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, if they just. I wasn't necessarily a fan of that, and it also, for me, it kind of takes a little bit away from Doug's. I want to call it a redemption arc when he sort of like takes the red Republican pill, if you will, and I say that because he's because Big Bob is like, he's a Democrat.
It's an improvement on the original, that it's made much more specific that he's like, I will not use guns. I will not use guns. A few minutes later.
Yep.
It's specific. Instead of stabbing the guy, he specifically uses a gun to do it.
Yeah.
It's a very specific turnaround, but I feel there is a bit of that, like a little bit of moral relativism, liberal thinking has got in there. It's certainly not the only film to do it, like you've...
No, of course not. Of course
on
not.
some level, I think we might be expected to take this guy kind of seriously. The idea of, actually, I know we're murderous mutant cannibals, but it really is kind of socioeconomic factors.
Yes.
Plus a nuclear bomb or two that made us do it. So really, it's kind of your fault, right?
It's like, actually, my buddy's shooting your wife in the head and essentially using her as a breastfeeding breastfeeding from her. It was actually your fault, because people that you have no connection to, a few decades ago, decided it would be a good idea to test some nuclear bombs, but we're going to blame you for that. So everything that we do is your fault, and you should feel guilty. And did you know we are the actual victims? Fuck off. Do one.
Yeah, I don't go with it. Specifically the young girl in the group of absolute monsters who you're somehow meant to feel a bit wooby for and protect. It does show up a lot. Things that come to mind after this would be something like, what's it called? The Zala one, the Zala one with the troglodytes, Bone Tomahawk, and of course the terrible Wrong Turn remake did that as well. Although that film was secretly based. So. Yeah. Oh dear, Sweepy Joe. Oh no.
Stephen Hawking at Epstein Island, circa 2009.
Yeah, it's I don't have Ruby sacrificing herself to say, but I feel it is, yeah, it's that it's the classic liberal premise. Actually, you got to give people a chance,
Yeah.
but also she can off herself in a way that we then don't have to think about how we would reintegrate her into society. That would be messy. We're not going to deal with that. We'll just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. So Dylan Roth is brilliant. You're going to help me make the Okay, you're going to help me make the bridge here. Because while we do raise this scene as like maybe it is some cringe Michael Moore impulse,
Michael Moore.
Really, if if you hadn't prodded them, maybe no 9/11, don't know, that sort of thing. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre like does raise an interesting one. Like I'm talking just the original. There is a genuine argument. I'm going to sound like I'm flip-flopping here, but there's a genuine argument about, rushing forward to modernize does have a pretty negative impact on some areas. I'm not saying it excuses medieval cannibalism, but I know I don't want to sound like a massive lefty.
Yeah, there's a difference between someone who's been left a bit hard done by because like things have changed to a point where they've struggled to adapt and now they're now they're in a position where they're genuinely struggling and they might have a bit of animosity towards that situation. There's that, and then there's deformed mutant cannibals who take families and just random people and torture them, torment them, mutilate, murder, and feast upon them. I think we can I think we can draw distinctions between those two groups, and we can sort of say, yeah, we can sympathize with this person. We want to help and support that person, try and get up to speed or adapt and overcome. And then there's these people where we're just like, yeah, drop another bomb. Sure, why not? What's the problem? There's already a crater there. Just make it a bigger one.
Well, yeah, I'd like to think we can make that distinction, that.
And I just want to say again for
Yeah,
people who might watch this and think that I'm making some real world reference. I'm not. I'm talking about this. I'm, don't in praise of shadows me. All right, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm talking about this film.
Yeah. So I suppose if while we're on this train of thought, this is something that I have to put to Murgoot particularly, because I have a note to ask you, Murgoot. Another way to think about this, is this what Hollywood thinks Appalachia is like? Like, is it swinging all the, like...
It's Appalachia and the Ozarks. Anywhere where backwoods people live, they tend to have problems with what they perceive as inbred hicks, and they want to make sure that they disapprove of that lifestyle. Yes, it is that.
Even whilst trying look, basically the government has wrecked your lives and made you the disgusting inbred. Did I mention disgusting foul people that you are? Like, I wonder if this is so tricky because this is from a French director, but it's working with an American property by a production studio that's American. So is this, even when trying to be sympathetic, kind of displacing that basically Hollywood's demonization of and hatred of the South?
Well, not just the South, the rural people.
The rural South, yeah.
Well, no, not the rural South, the rural Midwest. They have a lot of contempt for small town America, especially the South. They have a lot of contempt for weird desert dwellers, people who like living solo in the desert. Now that the Westerns are back, they don't have as much contempt for ranchers as they used to. But it's, yeah. I mean, this is, think the banjo playing kid and Deliverance. That's how they see him.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a big topic, but I could not. We had to discuss it if we're talking about this movie. There is a whole arc I want to do on horror's depiction of the rural South, because that is deep. But I had to bring it in, right? There's no way we couldn't look at this movie and not consider that aspect.
I mean, it even carries over to TV. The Band X-Files episode, Home, just, it's the contempt for rural people who've been trapped by time and circumstance kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. We will get to the arc. We will explore it. We want to. We'll see what people vote for. And you too get a choice to decide whether we cover the potential demonization of the rural South Americans by the filthy Hollywood types. If you join as a member, and then you can vote. Sorry, midstream shill. We had to do it. There's another angle I thought we might consider, since it's brought in, I think, almost uniquely to this. This is a bit of an evolution in editing style that was kind of new to the time. It caught on a lot more. Think American Horror Story, but the wonderful title sequence where you have kind of quaint 1930s, 40s footage.
That's 1950s.
Yeah, I was going to say 50s.
Modernism.
Dirt. Thank you. Yeah, mixing this with horrible imagery, like switching between these two.
When that opening line of "My cake is ready," I fucking bloody YouTube brain of the 2020s thought they would, for a split second, thought that she was referencing something else, and then I realized, oh no, it's actually cake. Oh, thank goodness, I'm more innocent. Let's go back to that, shall we?
I don't know, and I think I'm better off not knowing.
Yeah.
How about the title sequence? It's it's not the first to do something in this style. Seven comes to mind, but what did you think of it, TCG?
Yeah, it was all right. Standard opening sequence. Tries to tell you a little bit. It's kind of like My Bloody Valentine.
Kind of sorry. I'm an idiot. Sorry, I meant the title sequence. Sorry.
What you mean, this bit here? Yeah.
Yeah, the bit where they were doing like 1950s footage and then cutting it with some like deformities and bombs.
No, I mean that. It kind of reminded me of what My Bloody Valentine was trying to do in that opening score, which was in that opening sequence, which was essentially crash coursing you into telling you sort of where we're at now and sort of how the events from the past have led up to this moment. Obviously not thematically, it's not exactly the same, very, very different styles, but yeah, in what it's doing, cool. I don't mind that too much, and thankfully we didn't have a couple of teenagers in mines having to tell us the exact same sequence again, which I appreciate.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Hills of Eyes. But yeah, I do like the juxtaposition between sort of like almost like Beauty and the Beast. It is nice, and yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I found it effective as well. A punchy, good description of it, John Gorris. Yeah. Like the footage of the kids is like, I mean, it sounds like a lot of that is real footage. A lot of them were victims of Agent Orange, I gather. But it's powerful.
Agent Orange is more cancer rather than deformation. Somebody mentioned the picture of the thalidomide child with lobster feet. all the weird stuff that they did in the 50s that has long-ranging effects.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a good intro. It was a good set piece to make you realize exactly what's going on.
Mm. They did have to ground how extreme the mutations were going to be.
Yeah.
But it kept it like unsettling. This is activating a type of horror that, you know, hits somewhere different to just, you know, seeing a bunch of random scientists murked. Like this hits you in a different way, like a sense of pathos, a sense of disgust. This really unsettles you before it gives you the title. It's a good choice, I think. It may be adding something else in, which I think Lawrence has caught very well. Is it trying to get to the idea of problematizing the 50s? Like, yes, it was never good. People were never happy. No one had a house, etc. Like, if you're thinking, is that a reach? Well, if you haven't seen the movie, they set a lot of it in a model town that was that they used to test the effects of blasts on. So you know, those are 1950s homes. They are fabrications, so getting the idea of artificiality. They have these smiling dummies around, again emphasizing artificiality and trying to convey the idea that this is just this impossible lifestyle. What do you reckon? Is that too much of a reach? Are they going for that? Is that one of the ideas that Alexandre Aja has tried to build in?
Yeah, and they did a good job of it. Leslie Russell, we shall not talk about the Will Wheaton film The Curse from 1987.
We just want to talk about Will Wheaton.
It's the most horrible version of Color Out of Space that I've ever seen. And Will Wheaton, I saw The Curse before Star Trek The Next Generation really took off. And it's, oh, I want him dead.
Man has a type. What can I say?
Oh, that's an awful movie.
Mm.
Bo Duke and Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I get maybe a little antsy and a little triggery around the themes where they try and do this mocking a perfect past, because like, yeah, it was not perfect, but still I feel like there's an extremely overactive tearing down of it to try and stop you thinking like that there is anything wrong with the process of modernity and modernizing. I'm like,
yeah,
protesting a little too much.
There was a lot of
there.
good stuff in the 50s and the 60s. I mean, brilliant age, tech innovation, but it was also the height of the Cold War, where it's duck and cover, bomb shelters in the backyard, civil service shelters under schools and churches. It's the civil defense shelters did the bare minimum, although the canned food that's canned to last 20 years is pretty nice, but not too tasty. But yeah, Cold War paranoia mixed with tech innovation and advancement of society. You have your good with the bad, and the good outweighed the bad, unlike some think from the 50s.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's not black and white on that, but I think it's easy to point to the tech innovations as like the big thing that has made things better. But I don't know. Maybe I've read a bit too much Uncle Ted. I do see like the second order effects of those get very, very insidious. But I know that itself is a long stream's worth of topic, so we won't wade in too much into that.
Well, for the record, I've always been a lover of the 90s. That was my
Peak 90s.
Yeah. Again, like, you know, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we had the right excuse me, I think we had the right sort of balance of tech but also, you know, we were more often known to sort of touch grass than our current generation. But yeah, like smartphones and sort of like the tech these days, I feel like we've sort of stepped over a Rubicon a little bit, and you know, I think a lot of the I think obviously there's many reasons why people sort of look at the you know, sort of last sort of like late sort of like mid 2010s to sort of current as sort of like a crap time. I think a lot of it's to do with the technology that we have now and how it's essentially detached us from other people. Even like
everybody fascinated with AI and Chat GPT being worse than Wikipedia, in my opinion. Just people worshiping AI, and it gives all the wrong answers or mutated answers, and it's just, dude, take a step back. Make it better before you start using it.
Sorry, Lawrence, where have you put the camera? That's... I didn't think this had a bloody camera. I didn't think I had a camera. Hang on. Have you hacked my smartphone? See what I mean? This is why, you know, that's why smartphones suck. Jesus. No, they don't suck. But I mean, yeah, I just think we live in a world nowadays where if you sort of genuinely, if I think if you took like a Zoomer or just like a Zoomer and whack them into the 1990s, you know, the fact that they'd have to carry a calculator, a Walkman, a notepad, all separately, just those three items would
take a Zoomer and Alpha and put them into the 80s and watch their heads explode, having to go to the library,
I peaked with my pocket TV. I used to have a pocket TV, and I used to sneak it into school. And during break times, we'd all sit around and just watch like just whatever was on at like 10:30 in the morning on BBC One. I was like, oh, it's brilliant times. I used to take like 8 AA batteries. It was so good. It was so good.
So you actually had a Watchman.
I had a Watchman. Yeah, the old. Yeah. Oh, what about the old calculator watches as well? Oh yeah, I used to love it.
It might just be biased because that's when we were kids, but I mean,
I think
perfect time of you could get movies, like the Blockbuster was running, so you'd access to great movies.
Yeah,
you know, more even in the 90s, it's more movies than you ever need, right? You're never going to see them all. You're fine. You still got all the great stuff, but you didn't have something that was so tailored to be able to just like take all your brain power and just be the perfect dopamine trap for you that we have in the internet now.
Exactly,
it's that perfect blend, and let alone the stuff of basically, because technology hadn't advanced that much, there were lots of things that needed doing, and a person could get that job, and you know, then because that basically anyone could get the job, anyone could get their home. So I mean, we're speaking in broad generalities. Yes, not just Pocket TV Kid. I believe you also had Pocket Snooker, didn't you? Yeah, enjoy a bit of Pocket Snooker. Is that what I heard? Never mind. I don't know where I heard that. Never mind. No. It sounds luxurious. No?
Hold on a second. I'm going to have a look at this. I'll see if I can find the Pocket TV that I had. So you can pull it up on screen. Give me a moment.
You Nancy being a kid
oh my God,
of the 2010s.
Hang on a minute. Someone put, oh my God, right, okay. This was the Pocket TV I had. Literally the first image that comes up, and somebody has modified it. it's got the frigging YouTube logo on it. Right, you have to see this. You have to see this.
Where's that?
I'm DMing it to you now. But
All right.
this was the pocket TV I used to have back in the day. And yes, this is the night I was that pocket TV kid.
That pocket TV guy. Go on, rebrand.
That pocket TV guy. Oh, I used to love it, man. And it had the biggest bloody aerial.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm just saying, like,
it might be that one.
Would you rather your kid had Polly Pocket or Bratz? Come on. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. This it. Wow. Look at that. What age is that, TCG?
Oh, God, I don't know. But I used to... I'm a bit of a saddo. I did have more than one. This was another one. This was a Casio.
Look at that.
And I used to own one of these as well.
Oh my God, Distant Knight outing himself as a disgraceful 80s kid. Yeah. Mighty Max was the boys' version of Polly Pocket, wasn't it?
I broke the aerial on this one because I used to like
Very
stretch it.
good
I broke the aerial on this one, Proboro Show, because I used to like stretch it out and pull it in, stretch it out all the time, pull it in.
The aerial, yeah.
Yeah, definitely the aerial. Mask. Jay Panks. Yes, Mask has the bloody greatest intro theme. Fun little TCG fact, right? On my channel, I have private playlists, okay? And Mask is one of there's a channel that's got loads of like Mask episodes. I think it might actually be Hasbro, and that is actually one of my playlists. And I often say to my kids, "Yeah, come watch this. Mask is the mighty hero that can save the day." Oh,
I'm not having that. Implying it's got a better theme tune than Thundercats. Come on.
Well, I mean, okay, Thundercats is pretty boss, and Mask
original
I would argue is superior. However,
G.I. Joe.
However, could you get a more questionable opening title sequence or song than Ring Raiders?
Missed that one.
No, that's not real, is it?
It is very real. I'm
not googling that.
Hang on. Let me
Ring Raiders, kids. Go on.
I used to have Ring Raiders on video. That sounds so bad when I just say that.
Oh dear.
Right,
Lawrence, thank you for the super chat. It's £2. Blockbuster. Where can we learn more? Where can you learn more about Blockbuster? Why? So many nostalgic memories flying up. Why? Doesn't it make you want to really know the full history of that organization? Why? Maybe you could look at the playlist in the description of this very video, and then you'll find a link to Rental Breakdown, my Blockbuster history project, a 7-part series in autistic, weird detail that will tell you about the founding of Blockbuster and undo the filthy lie that Netflix killed it. Netflix did not kill Blockbuster. What did? You'll have to watch my series to find out. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to show Lawrence. Cheers.
Go on, play this. There's one bit. We talk about Ring Raiders. There's one bit. It kind of reminds me of a Bonnie Blue Q.
I'm not playing that. I'll lose the monetization.
Will you? I don't know.
I can confirm Ring Raiders confirmed real.
Ring Raiders, reach for the sky. Ring Raiders.
Give it a go, folks. Ring Raiders 1989 opening theme. You can enjoy it. It's real.
You can't bring them down. Yeah, time traveling fighter pilots.
Amazing. So, we may have been slightly taken off path.
Sorry, pocket
discussing the Hills Have Eyes. I don't know. The nostalgia thing, I think, is good. Also, read Ted Kaczynski, very enlightening individual. But yes, we're losing the movie. All right, we will round up to keep this timely, but I cannot complete this without discussing what in the Home Alone is going on in this scene, guys. What's going on here?
Oh, no.
For anyone who did not do the movie watching, would you care to recap what happens with Bobby and his
Sister.
Brenda.
sister? Yeah,
Bobby and Brenda.
Bobby and Brenda.
Oh.
What happens with Bobby and Brenda? What's their little storyline where Doug is going off being a manly action man?
Oh, what?
Well, they've set up tripwires with signals. They've set up a couple of traps, and they're also setting a trap inside the trailer. They're opening up the valves on the propane tanks, and they've set up a friction pad on the door and a bunch of matches embedded in a piece of wood so that when the door is open, the friction pad goes off and sets off the propane. But one of the mutants gets them stuck in the trailer, and they ended up escaping him by crawling out the back window. And when he comes in to get them, he opens the door, the matches go off, and boom. And it's a yard sale, basically. Everything's blown out of the trailer in flaming pieces.
Yep. It all goes up. The back's more blown out than Bonnie Blue. What can I say? But, I mean, where do we start on this? There is a defense that Bobby is shown to be well-intentioned but an idiot. But for goodness sake, what is so wrong with why is this in? Why does it go so wrong? Because I love this movie. I think it's a really good one, but this is the stupidest thing in it.
It's a clever trap. I mean, they were but it's patently ridiculous because they haven't released enough propane to fill the trailer to get that big of an explosion. But it's Hollywood. What do you expect?
I mean, I don't know, man. I can't defend this from, like, so much goes wrong. Like, Bobby only has one person he needs to take out, and they are aware of that the whole time, that it's only one. He has many chances to just take his time, aim, and shoot the guy. And he decides, I'm not going to do that, actually.
I thought that.
I'm going to leg it and take terrible shots. Goth Denethor then chases him. And, okay, activate the plan, hide inside, trap him. Brilliant. You've got him tied up. He can't escape. But at that point, it's only the one guy. So, knowing that, why still try and blow up the place that contains all your food and water and supplies?
I thought exactly the same thing. As soon as he was tied up, as soon as they tied him up at that point, just one, because he still had a clip and a half, presumably.
Yeah.
Probably emptied it. Well, he still had at least a clip. Because that half he unloaded. Taking his
magazine, please.
Yeah.
Cave the dude's head in.
Pop. Yeah.
You've got a big bat. You can do it.
Yeah, one shot, done. And then you can have a bottle of water to celebrate.
Yep.
Don't open the door until you've disarmed the bomb.
Yeah. They decide they're going to go with that. All right. But then, Cannibal Denethor then escapes and decides he's still going to go in. He somehow, even though he's looking into the cabin, doesn't notice them fleeing out the back door. He's still, and he can smell the gas, presumably.
Would that be
seeing as his head was inside? Surely you can.
Can you smell the gas? I think they put some. I think they do put some agents.
Propane doesn't have much of an odorant, at least in the States. It's not like natural gas, methane, that they have to put the garlic odorant in.
Yeah.
All right, I might take an L on that one then. If he doesn't smell it, I think he might hear it. But even so, it's like, why does he go back in? So
He
it's just
didn't.
like, just
He
nothing works about this scene for me. So
couldn't.
many.
He couldn't smell what the Bob was cooking.
For God's sake.
Oh God,
Nice
right?
one.
Yeah, okay, I'll see myself out. No,
Yeah,
but I agree.
nice.
This scene, I mean, great for visual if you want a big explosion, yada yada yada. But I think, yeah, it kind of lost me at the point where I couldn't. I mean, I don't know. Would they be able? Yeah, they'd be able to turn off the propane, wouldn't they? Because it was gas. But yeah, they didn't. They didn't need to blow. As soon as they had him restrained, he could have just pulled his gun out and blasted him. I do agree with John though with that initial part with him being naturally he'd be freaked out after seeing something like that. I buy into that, but yeah, it was the it was it was just that point when he was when he managed to tie him up, and I'm like, shoot him, go on,
do it. I mean, I think you're right that it's there for the visuals.
It is. It's just a visual thing, isn't it?
You do need to give Brenda something to do.
Yeah,
I think there are more. Like she needs to get her own revenge for us to feel satisfied. But it's I think when my boy comes back, and by the way, we have to ask, where on earth did he manage to get Beast back again?
Beast is his own animal, man. He just turns up whenever he needs to.
Does his own thing. He rocks up. But it's just like conveniently he's managed to find Beast again. But he's turned them back up as like, Bobby, Brenda, I'm glad you're alive. Brenda, you still got that bikini, love. And he's going to be thinking like, hang on, what do you want me to feed my daughter here? Because you've just blown up all our water, you dickheads. I found my baby. Oh, we're going to starve now.
Yeah. Oh,
why
great.
did you do that?
I mean, the petrol station's only 8 miles away.
Yeah. I mean, look, my daughter's 18 months old. I would not want her to have to like hike in hot weather with her with no water. Bobby's done them in.
Bobby burgers for supper.
Gosh. I should probably specify, Leslie Russell, good to see you, by the way. The best remake being The Thing 82. I mean, many would agree with you. I should specify, since I said finest horror remake, I'm focused on the 2000s era remakes. And the reason I'm doing that is partially to dodge the obvious thing that, yeah, probably is The Thing is the best horror remake of all time. But within the realm purely of the 2000s era remakes, I get to open up the competition. Actually thinking about like how I should do the taxonomy now before we forget. Actually, I said I was going to do it at the start and totally forgot. So here is our taxonomy. I just thought we'd do a quick check at this point before I'm mindful of time before we move on to scoring. Early 20s cast.
We get a couple, Bobby and Brenda.
Couple. Is it played dead straight? Yes.
Yeah, once it all starts going down, yeah.
Can I count Emily de Ravine, who does wear a tank top?
It also pulls it off to show her bikini. Yes.
I think that counts. I think she counts as our hoopsha wench. More modest than a lot of our girls in these movies. New metal, yes.
No.
Bobby was listening.
Oh, true, but
not straight on the soundtrack.
No,
as most of them would have done. It was present. Risky CGI. No,
a little CGI.
Bit.
Well, there's CGI, but I don't think they risk because they, as I say, they still use the prosthetics, physical effects, I should say. Yeah. Good.
Attempted psychological depth. Maybe not. A tiny bit, but not really.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, would you count the sort of like justification from the scene with old Hawking when he's like, actually, this is your fault? I
think it's that a tiny bit, and like I use that in a slightly more scathing thing where they like. I'll be honest. I'm thinking particularly of the Halloween remake, where it's like, here's details of
Oh yeah,
Michael's childhood. And you
yeah,
see, like, trying to bring that sort of. Basically, you have to have a psychological angle to it. Someone can't be evil. There's got to
Yeah.
be a psychology. There's got to be a therapeutic reason for it.
Well,
Yeah.
there's the old guy from the gas station grocery store who feels guilt and I can't take it anymore. His ending. That's not so much psychological depth as just shock, but they tried to emphasize why he did it.
It's we get close to there, I think, maybe in a not bad way, but that's a little risky. Memeified form of the prior movie, not really.
No, they tried to
no.
play it straight.
Yeah, it's well. Just to clarify for people, because it's tricky to phrase this, but what I'm trying to get there is these remakes often take on. They depict the cultural memory of the thing rather than the thing itself. So that would be an example, like when you say Friday the 13th, you think Jason, you don't think his mum. So the remake will skip straight to Jason. Or
hold on.
Like Jason has to have the mask straight away. He has to be in his final form.
I need to correct you on that.
Oh, please do. Please do.
My wife and I started actually watching the 2009 one for this Sunday, funnily enough.
Yes, indeed.
And it actually does open up with Mrs. Voorhees actually being the killer. It does it basically redoes the ending of the first Friday film, and then sort of moves on to Jason being. But you'll see it. But you'll see it in the watch back when you play it back. But I forgot to I almost forgot to mention that because I was gonna let you know about that, because I know last week we were talking and we both were like, oh yeah, no, it definitely it sort of skips the Mrs. Voorhees bit, but it actually doesn't. No.
Well, she is in, but she's not the main killer. So I don't know. Maybe
I see what you mean. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I took that as it just kind of skips her and just goes straight to Jason, but it does sort of contextualize Jason at the start through the, through the oh my god, I can't get my words out. Through Mrs. Voorhees basically, doing what she's doing because of what happened to a boy at Crystal Lake all those years before. Doesn't explain why he's still alive though. It doesn't do the lightning bolt.
From the tasteful thickness kind of nails it. Baudrillard has entered the chat. Yes, absolutely. We're talking about the simulacrum of Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
That's what we're after. Yes, a good encapsulation of it, and it genuinely sort of is a simulacrum.
Dylan, how can you say the only good one was the third one? The fourth one is just absolute.
Yeah. And if you doubt that, go and watch our commentary that we did for the fourth one.
Yes.
And as TCG's said, this Sunday for the Halloween specials, we are doing another live commentary, this time for the 2009 Friday the 13th. So be there for that on Sunday.
Which has the two best quotes of any Friday film, in my opinion. And also has Jared Padalecki, aka Sam Winchester. Just saying. And also Danielle Panabaker, I think her name is. She plays Killer Frost in the Flash TV series, which was okay for the first 2-3 series before it went absolute peak wank.
Peak wank. I think we've reached peak wank. All right.
Let's
Quickly
get back on track.
Sorry. Pre-woke, colorblind.
There's not really much color in this film, is there?
We don't have a chance to judge, really. So skip that one.
It's a very vibrant film in terms of its in terms of the color filters they choose. But I mean, if we're talking about there isn't any color, shall we say?
Yeah. Torture scene.
Brief one with Bob, maybe.
briefly, like the thing.
Oh,
where,
hang on. What torture scene? Like, the trailer. That's awful.
The trailer,
It's not quite strapped
Big
to a
Bob's
chair.
crucifixion,
No, but
immolation.
sorry, gun to a like. I'll blow your baby's head off unless you let me breastfeed you.
I guess
Unless you
I mean,
like,
I'm
come
thinking
on, like that.
the specific,
No,
like tied to a
I'm
chair.
I'm putting my foot down. That scene is absolutely a torture scene for those two.
All right, I'll go for it. I'll go for it. It is sustained horror. It's not the quick stab and jump. I'll give it to you. 3D, a questionable entry. No.
No.
All right, but we are getting some pretty good hits on our remake taxonomy here. Yeah, I'll move us to our chart, and I realize I'm going to move us on to something else because I still need to give us something to put in there. Hang on a second. I forgot to load something for the what's the word for the ratings?
Oh no!
I know. State of me. Can you believe it?
You'd never catch me making a mistake on my live streams. Just
No.
don't look at don't look at last week's quiz. Literally goofed up the answers.
Hang on. Oh gosh, I can't see the thing. Layers panel. There we go. Sorry, we will work this out in just a second. I'm just being an absolute div. I've messed this up terribly. Do talk amongst yourselves, chat, while I get this working. Absolute state of me. Good.
It's all right. Happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us.
I will say, I'll tell you what, if we're talking about ratings and stuff like that, shall we do our burger scores?
Let's do it. I've got
it
it set up so we can. There we go. Look.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Could you just explain our rating system for anyone, because we're doing a unique rating for this arc, TCG?
Yeah. So typically we'll just rate a film out of 12 burgers. Okay, 12 obviously being the highest ratings. 1 being spit that thing out, you're gonna get food poisoning. But we're actually adding a Y chart to this as well. So there's going to be 2 levels to it. So the first one, obviously, as I've just mentioned, is that 1 out of 12. How good was the film? And then the second, the Y axis, is how true to the remake is how true to the original was the remake. So far, this is the third one. The first one we did was absolutely not. Second was kind of in the middle, I will say. Now, I haven't seen the remake. However, I haven't seen the original. I beg your pardon. The last 2 hours would have been an absolute waste of time for me if I hadn't seen the remake. But from what I've heard, this does sort of stick quite true to the original.
Oh yeah,
there's some variation, but it is very true to the original.
Right.
I'd give it 10 out of 12 for faithfulness. I mean, the feel is right there.
Right. I would defer to you because I haven't seen the original.
Yeah,
so we'll go about here on faithful.
Yeah,
and then, well, Murgoot, you're given the faithful rating. Where would you rate it on quality?
The cinematography was good. The cut shots, the editing, it was kind of jarring when they just cut from one scene to another with no. But I can deal with that. It's faithful to the source. The FX are top notch. Even the CGI was very good excellent for the time. The acting was good. Doug and the son both held the idiot ball for the longest time, but they grew as characters throughout the movie. They did a good job with that. I'd give it 9 very rare bloody burgers with lots of ketchup. Some I won't give it any pickles, but maybe simulated, but those scenes are just horrifying. But I give it a good solid 9.
Very respectable. Very respectable. TCG, you said you couldn't do the comparison for the y-axis, but where would you put it on quality?
Yeah, I'd say about a 9 as well. After I watched it, I was leaning towards a 9. I do like this film very much. And part of the reason for that is because it's one of the very few horror films that I can go and watch that will give me a visceral sort of gut wrenching sort of sickness when I know that trailer scene is about to approach. It's very, very difficult. In fact, just for context, I actually had it on mute as we were streaming tonight, just watching the film play out. And as it got to that bit, I just started skipping because I'm like, no, don't need to watch that bit again. No, thank you. I've had my full. Thank you very much. And there's not a lot of horror films that would do that, because obviously you see a lot of blood, gore, yada yada yada. So for a film to still have something like that will actually get a human reaction out of you, that isn't just sort of jump scare, spooky, to me is quite meaningful. So yeah, this will be a film that I will always hold highly. The burger itself is going to have absolutely untold amounts of ketchup in it. It's when you go to like tip the bottle upside down, you give it a few pats on the bottom, and the lid falls out. And just, and the lid falls off, and it just all out, all over the place. It's that.
Oh yeah.
But for some reason, not content, I grab another bottle and think, it's not going to do the same again. Oh crap! It's actually the lid's fallen off again. Brilliant. Double taps. Yep. Which Doug doesn't. Sorry, not Doug, but which Bobby doesn't do a lot in this film. Doesn't.
No, should have.
No. I don't think he actually gets one shot on target in this movie. But yeah, no, it's
can't
a massive
even hit when he's pissing.
No, exactly.
Got it all over his front.
Yeah, got it all over his hand, didn't he? Yeah, lots of pickles. As soon as I saw in the opening credits that Greg Nicotero was on it, I was like, yes, that explains why the prosthetics and the makeup effects are so good. Because that man just absolutely gets it, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to like body horror, visceral stuff like that. Yeah, 9, easy 9. Push Absolutely. For a 10 slightly, but I'll stick with a 9.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to dispute it. It may sound lazy, but I think 9 is the absolutely fair score on quality. It effectively horrifies me. It is a blooming tough watching scenes. It builds empathy for characters, which is then used to make you feel awful to them when horrible things happen. The things are creative, and even though I've seen hundreds of horror movies, it still hits me even when I go back to this knowing it's going to happen. So this is powerfully directed. The effects are amazing. And it's got a nice, decent theme and character arc. A challenging one. Yes, Doug wins, but basically he's had to admit his value system is completely wrong. He's been broken by it, and he's had to do the needful in a way that's been an ordeal for him. He's truly suffered to come through it. So powerful theme, well done, good symbology to back it up. But I cannot take it above a 9 because there are moments of absolute derpery in it, as exemplified in Bobby's terrible plan, among a couple of others, and some cheats, where things just don't make sound if that would be inconvenient to provide a scare. So we do have a bit of a quality cap there, but 9, I think, is very fair. As for the faithfulness, Yeah, it seems about right, to be honest. I mean, the beats are followed. It's just things are slightly polished. The effects are better. It's more intense. And details like the final killing is shooting and not stabbing, which then has more thematic relevance. So I think I'm not going to dispute that faithfulness. This is on the money. Very, very faithful. Very faithful indeed. Seems about right. Seems about right. So yeah, I'm very happy with that rating. Is it going to continue to be the best of them in terms of argue amongst yourself whether more faithful makes it a better remake? Argue, but quality-wise, it's the lead. We will return to this topic because there are a lot more of these films that I want to look at because I find it a very fascinating era. How it processes these films from the 1970s and 80s and polishes them up and reinterprets them for a 2000s audience. So we will return to this, but we will return to it after another arc that members voted for and after the Halloween specials, which are going to start on Saturday. So you've had your review of The Hills Have Eyes. I need to set you up. The Halloween specials are going to start going from Saturday. The one that I definitely want you there for, of all of them, you like watch at your own pace, get your inspiration for your Halloween viewing, but be there for the live one that's going to be on Sunday. That is TCG and I are going to do a live commentary for Friday the 13th, 2009.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And your homework for next week, the film we're going to cover on Thursday live is going to be When Evil Lurks from 2023. And I suddenly got panicked about that title. Let me confirm. Yeah, it's When Evil Lurks. Why did I get confused about that? There we go. When Evil Lurks 2023. Track that down. That should be an interesting one. I've heard quite a hard watch. But we'll be doing that. So 2 bits of homework, if you will. Friday the 13th, 2009. Come and enjoy the live commentary on Sunday. And When Evil Lurks for next week's stream. And then just catch all the Halloween specials as and when they drop. I think that's everything, folks.
I think it is. Oh, yeah. Join me tomorrow. Murgoot will be there as well. Horror Show won't because she has apparently more important things to do than to have a stab at. I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring evening. I feel like the people here and the people who will be there tomorrow are very cultured internet folks. So I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring evening tomorrow. But join
Not just
me.
high-scoring, but high class.
High class, high IQ, highly cultured. If that's you, join me at 9 p.m. UK time tomorrow, where we're going to be delving into the mind of Hassan Piker and essentially asking ourselves, how the hell does that clown still have a platform?
Absolutely. There you go. I've got it on screen, folks, but TCG has dropped the comment. Wait, I can pin a comment.
You can pin comments, yes.
Let's do it. You showed me how to do this last week,
Yeah.
and I'm genuinely a horrible boomer. There we go. Pinned. It's true. It's true. I'm a total boomer. There we go. I've pinned a message. Aren't you proud of me?
I'm very proud.
There we go. Yes, folks, join TCG tomorrow. Follow TCG and Murgoot on Twitter, and follow me on Twitter if you aren't doing it already. And give me money. Give me money.
Give me money. Oh, do you know what? You need to clip that bit from Black Mirror. Just clip that and then play it at the end.
Next intro. You're going to see it. Give me money and good evening.
Yes.
I'm going to do it for you.
Oh, brilliant. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, folks. Yes, I'm glad you had fun. Yes, send shekels because I buy expensive books. I bought the M.R. James book that you guys funded. You can see me with it on Lotus Eaters when it drops, when that episode drops. There's going to be 2 parts on M.R. James, and you wonderful people paid for my beautiful edition of Ghost Stories of an Antiquary. So Wonderful. Yes, Dylan Roth. Where is it? When evil lurks? Let me confirm. Yeah, it's when evil lurks, not where. So track that down. When evil lurks, 2023. Yes. So I got the beautiful edition, and I liked it so darn much. I got another one from the publisher. So yes, send money, fund my hardback addiction. All right, that's everything, folks. You've had your review. You've got your horror homework, and you've hopefully got the tingles, knowing that Halloween is around the corner.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good times, good times.
I want to see you play a horror game for Halloween.
You're a cruel man, TC.
I was going to play Silent Hill 2, but I played I played one of the I played that Fears to Fathom game. It was like a little 20-minute one, and I died like in a little bit, and I realized I just don't have the stones for playing horror games.
Can't do it no
I can
more.
watch them. I can watch horror films. I can watch people play horror games. Shout out to Samson, by the way. But I cannot play horror games. I'm such a chicken.
That's why I'm not going to. That's me as well. I'll be terrible. All right, well, folks, I'm going to leave it there. But I hope you've got. Well, first off, a massive thanks to my co-hosts. You guys are absolute stars.
Pleasure as always. Thank you, chat.
Thank you very much.
Great
Thank
tonight.
you, chat.
Yeah, and chat, thank you as well. I hope you're having lovely Fridays ahead of you and a lovely weekend ahead of that. TCG will see you tomorrow, and I will see you on Sunday. Thanks, y'all. Cheers.
Kaya, place.
Hashtag Shellgang.